welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program, we will get an update from Quincy Chamber of Commerce President Tim Cahill. Learn all about the activities going on in Kilroy Square this year. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, lots of clouds, a few sunny breaks, 63 degrees right now. We'll see some afternoon showers, maybe even the rumble of thunder, with highs today only in the lower 60s. Things will clear out this evening and drop off into the lower 50s. I think it's a little unsettled tomorrow morning with some showers around, but slowly improving throughout the day. A high tomorrow of 70, and it should clear out in time for tomorrow night's Big Flag Day parade and fireworks celebration up at Pageant Fields, with lows tomorrow night into the mid-50s. Really better on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, just a few high thin clouds. Sunday's highs warming up into the upper 70s, and some more unsettled weather here on Monday. Some afternoon showers, but warmer with highs Monday in the mid-70s. Again, 63 with clouds in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, Quincy Councilor at Large Ann Mahoney is running for mayor. On Tuesday, Mahoney took out nomination papers to run for the 4-year mayor's seat this coming fall. Mahoney will have to give up the council seat that she's held for the past 5 years, but says her campaign will center around the theme of transparency in government.
But this is really truly about making sure Quincy's moving in the right direction for the future for all of us. And what I really think is a grassroots campaign. It's not about any one particular person. It's really about our community and making sure that we have choice and making sure that we're putting the right choice into elective office so that we can move and grow together as a community. And the constituents will decide. We'll get our message out, and we'll hopefully be able to earn everybody's vote and really ensure that people will know where their government money is being spent and how we're making these decisions for development that's happening in the community so that we all can feel like we know what's happening.
Mahoney also ran for mayor in 2011 and 2015 while she was serving on the Quincy School Committee. Mahoney says she wants to focus on issues including transportation, traffic relief, and overdevelopment. She is a lifelong Quincy resident, marketing strategist, and former small business owner, holding a degree in finance from Suffolk University. She and her husband, Kevin, have 3 grown children. Mayor Thomas Koch is seeking re-election to his 7th term this year. James Maloney has also taken out papers to run for mayor. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch earlier this week announced the next police chief for the city. Lieutenant Mark Kennedy will succeed Paul Keenan later this month. Koch says that Kennedy has been in charge of the police department's Special Operations Unit for the past 5 years and has been on the Quincy force since 1998. He also has a legal background.
Lieutenant Mark Kennedy came out on top, and I'll be appointing Mark subsequent to Chief Keenan's retirement. This gives him a couple of weeks to work with Chief Keenan on the transition. Mark's been head of the operations unit. He's actually, in addition to being a police officer, he is a lawyer. He's well respected in the department. He's done a nice job over the years in his various capacities serving. And, I'm thrilled for him, his family, and the department. I think it'll be a nice transition from the style of Chief Keenan into the style of Mark Kennedy.
Kennedy has had a private law practice in Scituate for the past 17 years and is a member of the Massachusetts Bar Association. He grew up in Squantum. The 47-year-old Kennedy will be formally sworn in as chief on June 23rd, the day after Chief Keenan officially retires. Keenan's been with the Quincy Police Department for 40 years, the past 15 of those as chief. He turns the mandatory retirement age of 65 this year. Keenan will also serve as the Grand Marshal of tomorrow night's 72nd Annual Quincy Flag Day Parade. The Quincy Police Department held their annual Memorial Day ceremony last Sunday at the Police Memorial at Mount Wollaston Cemetery. The first Sunday in June is designated as Police Memorial Sunday, when former officers who have died over the past 5 years are remembered, along with the 5 Quincy police officers who've died in the line of duty since the department was formed back in 1892. Chief Paul Keenan said it is a tradition he will never forget.
In my 40 years as a police officer, I've always been proud to say that I'm a Quincy police officer, and especially proud to lead such an outstanding group of men and women. Our brave police officers exemplify the highest ideals of duty, honor, and sacrifice. Our officers stand as guardians of peace, placing themselves between danger and the innocent. They patrol our streets, safeguarding our neighborhoods and preserving the fabric of our society. Being a police officer goes beyond enforcing the law. It's about building bridges of trust and forging connections within our community. In that respect, I truly believe the Quincy Police is second to none. To the families of our officers, we recognize the sacrifices you have made. You have shared your loved ones with the community, knowing that each day they face danger, uncertainty, and the weight of responsibility. We acknowledge the sacrifices you have made and the burden you've carried, often without recognition or fanfare. Please know that your sacrifices do not go unnoticed or unappreciated. We stand with you, grateful for the sacrifices you've made and strength you continue to exhibit. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the citizens of this great city for 40 years. I'll be retiring in a few weeks, and as I reflect back on my time here, I'm so grateful to the men and women, both sworn and civilian, I've had the honor and privilege to serve with. You're the best of the best. Please be safe and watch out for each other. Thank you.
The Quincy Police Mutual Aid Association held a retirement party for Keenan and some other retiring officers at the Terrell Room earlier this week. Keenan was presented with a special pin for his 40 years of service, and other officers received pins for service starting at 10 years and going up in 5-year increments. Mayor Thomas Koch also issued badges and commendations to other officers who've retired recently. That event was canceled for the past several years due to the pandemic. Oh, nobody was hurt when a car crashed right into a Quincy daycare center on Tuesday morning. Police say a vehicle struck the building that houses the Happy Children Learning Center, Interfaith Social Services, and some other organizations on Adams Street. This happened about 8:30 Tuesday morning. There was nobody in that room where the vehicle struck the building. An inspector said the building was safe. The female driver told police she stepped on the accelerator instead of the brake by accident. She and her passenger were not injured and no citations were filed. Mannett Community Health Center CEO Cynthia Sierra has received the Community Health Center CEO Award from the Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers. Sierra was honored during the annual gathering of community health centers in Massachusetts during their awards gala last Friday at the Weston Copley Place in Boston. The Mass League Gala says it embodies and promotes the mission of community health through the recognition of their workforce, organizations critical to their success, and the innovation generated across their million-plus patient network to achieve health equity for all. Sierra has been at Mannett for the past 12 years. She's been CEO since January of 2016. That's our check of news for you today. Coming up, we get to sit down with Quincy Chamber of Commerce President Tim Cahill next. Welcome back. It's been about 4 months since we heard again from Tim Cahill from the Quincy Chamber of Commerce. Yes, so he's back with us because things are about to ramp up in a big way in Quincy Square, and the Chamber is a big part of that. How are you, Tim?
Good, Joe. How are you?
Good.
I mean, it was winter when we last
talked? It was February. Yeah.
Jeez.
I know, right?
I felt like I felt like I was just here. I felt like I was just here. So it has been a very busy spring.
Indeed.
And early summer. I mean, amazing. So I just look up, it's Monday, and I look back down, and it's Friday, and then we're back to something. We just finished our golf tournament.
Yeah, how'd it go?
It went great.
Yeah.
It went great. We got lucky with the weather.
Yes.
A little rain in the early morning, but it cleared up, and it was fine, and everyone came, and they had a great time, and we were able to raise a lot of money.
Who
so
won?
It was good. It was the Bill Kingdon team. You stump me if you ask me to name the foursome, but it was led by Bill Kingdon. He was a great young guy. Ellis Real Estate, I believe it is.
Look at that. Pulled that out of a hat.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. If I got it wrong, then I may have got it wrong.
Okay.
But Bill, my apologies.
All right.
I got Bill's name right anyways.
So, and it's to raise money all for chamber events.
Yeah, for the chamber events and
yeah.
help us get through. It's we missed COVID 1 year, so we moved it from the fall to the spring, and we moved it from the afternoon to the morning, and it's been great. This year I've noticed, and we had our annual meeting back at the end of March, which I know you guys were present and you filmed, and we had some great honorees, Jimmy Liang and I'm forgetting the name of the billionaire that we
That would be
know.
Rob Hale.
Rob Hale. I was saying Granite Telecommunications. I knew that, and I was trying to think. They were inducted into our Hall of Fame this year, and it was just a wonderful night. And what I tell people is that I won't say it's gotten easier, but but we've been so blessed with people being generous and buying tickets, and everything's been sold out, and all our sponsorships are. We've never done better. We've never done better. It was like what I was expecting the year of the pandemic.
Yes.
When just before everything shut down, because
Okay.
we were doing really well, and we're growing our membership. So the chamber I don't think it's ever been in better shape since I've been here, in the 5 years I've been here, and it's rewarding because COVID was tough, and even after COVID, it was one of those things where we weren't really pushing and trying to pull people. We weren't trying to really push out our message.
People were still a little nervous.
And we had great turnouts, but it was just kind of built, and now it's just exploded.
So what
So
do you
it's great.
attribute that to?
I think people really now appreciate. Some people are just still coming out.
Yeah.
But they appreciate what they missed, which is the
So
camaraderie.
is that the silver lining of the pandemic, do you think?
One of them.
Okay.
And still wouldn't want to go through it ever again.
Obviously, right.
But I do think there was a sense of, geez, I'm so busy. I've got this thing. I've got this thing. I'm always sensitive to that. Having been in politics, I know what it's like. So you try to hit your spots and try to not over push and not over ask, because people have a lot of things to do. But we were out early. We started up earlier than most. We had outdoor events and even indoor events, and we've just building momentum. But I do think a lot of it is the businesses really want to support us and want to get them, their own employees to come out, and people just want to see each other.
Yeah.
They really want to see each other, because not only is it crowded, and are we at maximum, event size, people are just they're having so much fun. It's not like it may have been a little forced before, where you just feel like you gotta go, I gotta go, now I want to go.
Okay.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Has business itself rebounded?
It has.
Really?
It has.
Yeah.
It seems like it has. And I've been out talking to a few restaurateurs, and I think we were back in February saying how hard it was to hire people, and things hadn't come back. They've come back in a big way.
Yeah.
And most of the places I've talked to said they've got people coming back to work too.
Okay.
They got staff, part-time work and
Yep.
full-time waitressing and cooks and stuff. I was at Alba's this week, and I was at Abbey Park at the Milton Chamber of Commerce event yesterday. Talked to the owners, and they said the same thing.
Same thing.
We're good, and we really got people. Jimmy Liang at Fuji. I mean, all the places that were struggling to get people
Yes.
to fill spaces, because business was back,
Yep.
but there wasn't enough service for those people.
Yeah, there was a disparity.
And
there
you
for
were
a little
closed
bit.
on Mondays or Tuesdays,
Right.
and now they're reopening and stuff. So yeah, it feels very much, even with inflation, the job market's great, and people are coming back to work.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, the mayor during his budget presentation this year said that the meals tax for the city in the next fiscal year will be the highest it's ever been.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's exactly
Yeah.
what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Our revenues are higher than they've ever been.
Right.
Each event is higher, and again, some of it, obviously, there's an inflationary
Yes.
mode out there. But
Yeah.
I think people are just like, they're not going to be deterred from going out.
Or they're going to pick and choose, right, where they spend
Correct,
their money.
correct,
As opposed to just
correct.
discretionary spending. Yeah.
But they want to be out. They want to be out with other people. And you even when you're going out to a restaurant or a bar or something, you get that feel that, it's kind of nice. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do this again. you
Right,
know?
right.
So, and there's an ebb and flow, but we're right now in the flow, and it feels good. And it's easier. I don't feel like I'm ever pulling teeth to get people to come.
All right, so that's
or
a
to
key
sponsor.
indicator for
We had a
sure,
breakfast for the mayor. The mayor was a speaker, and we had a breakfast, and we squeezed in more tables than we were allowed to. It was full, crowded, and we finally had to cut it off.
Yeah.
We had sold out 3 weeks in advance.
Wow.
Which these are things that have never happened since I've been there.
Okay, all right.
You're always kind of like, I need a few more tables, can you come?
So people are actually looking for ways to interact then
They are.
that they
They
weren't before. Even
absolutely
before
are.
the pandemic, they weren't looking for
They
it, but
absolutely
now
are.
they are. Yeah.
Catch up, make up some time, and say, hey, we're out, and we're providing those events, which makes me happy. Like, we've got them, we've been doing them for years, but now we've hit our stride, and we're providing them, and they're responding.
Yeah, well, I know we talked about the last time you were here, the winter market was a big success,
It was
right?
big.
Yeah.
It was big.
And
And we're now
gearing up for-
the spring.
Yep.
And funny thing is, I know we're going to talk about the farmers market,
Yeah.
but we're putting out the vendor applications for the Christmas market this week.
Oh, come on.
I swear. I thought it was going to be July 1st.
Yeah.
But I was told those are filling up in other markets. So if we want to get our vendors, and we're getting a lot of requests.
Wow.
So it's
Christmas in June.
Christmas in June. We're always ahead of the game. We're
Yeah.
always working on the spring annual meeting in the winter and stuff.
Right, yeah.
But this is coming up on me a little fast, and luckily the team is more awake than I am.
They're on it.
We got to get going because we don't want to lose our vendors. But
Right.
yeah, the winter market was the Christmas market was fantastic, and we're going to be bigger and better than ever this year.
Wow.
I'm convinced of
Well,
it.
I mean, you kind of go on the retail calendar, right? You kind of have to,
Yeah.
because that's who
Yeah.
you're serving.
And these vendors, these artisans and artists and food makers and stuff, there's a lot of these events out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in Seaport, there's one at SOA in South
Yeah,
South
so
End.
they're being spread thinner.
They're
so, yeah.
getting requests
Yeah.
and they're filling up, and we're on their list though, which is great. I mean, the first time we did it back in 2000, I think it was 18. We didn't put the application out till October for November.
For that November, yeah.
Because we didn't know what we were doing, and so you learn as you go.
Yeah.
And but it's like I said, it's rewarding when you have to say no because we're maxed out.
Good problem to have, right?
It's a good
Yeah.
problem, and we get a higher, sort of a higher level of professionalism. People who are more experienced, they have plenty of product. They're not running out. They're coming, and I think we're going to see that with the farmers market. This is our second year running it by ourselves.
Yep.
Third year running it at Kilroy Square
Okay.
with the previous team at the Quincy Farmers Market, and we're really starting to see more farmers. Because to be honest with you, the pandemic really decimated farmers markets
Yes.
all across the country.
Oh, yes, yep.
And farms, because there's no place you couldn't even go outside
That's
to
right.
sell, or you had
There were all kinds of restrictions.
too many,
yeah.
way too many.
Yeah.
So we got rid of the restrictions, and we really focused on the food this year. We do have some vendors, some artisans, but mostly food, bakeries, farms, things that you associate with a farmer's market. So, and we're combining it with the Widowmaker Beer Garden this year. So that'll be open at noon on Fridays,
Okay.
starting next week. They've already been open. They've been open. This is their third weekend, doing well at Kilroy Square. We got rotating food trucks there now because the Townshin, who was doing the food last year, sold their truck. So,
Oh, no kidding.
And they opened a new restaurant in Hull. So those
Oh,
guys are busy
they're
right
busy.
now.
Okay.
So we got rotating food trucks. One each time we're there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And the farmers market. I mean, the beer garden will open at noon, coinciding with the farmers market.
All
So it's
right.
going to be a nice place to come for lunch, to hang out on a Friday. We're trying to make it really much more fun, enjoyable for people, not just to shop, but to buy and be in Quincy Center. Go to the Fours if they want to have lunch, or go to the new restaurant, Kilroy's on the Square, if they want to grab lunch. Or the Fat Cat, or so going shopping at William James. So people, hopefully, will get them at least come on Fridays a little earlier, because the restaurant scene is busy on the weekends and at nights.
Is Thursday the new Saturday, or what's the saying now?
Friday's a new Saturday. I would
Friday's a new
say.
Saturday?
Friday's a new
Okay.
Saturday. Thursday's a new Friday. Friday's I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but because so many people work from home on Fridays
Yes.
now, I think we're looking to pull a little bit more of a lunch, early afternoon crowd, because we want to support our farmers.
Right.
We want the place to be busy and active. So there'll be live music. There'll be the beer garden. We have a wine seller, a gentleman who sells mead. Don't know exactly what mead is.
Okay. I think it's
made
some
out of
kind
honey.
of a hard cider or something.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's but he got a license to sell, not to drink there, but to
Right.
sell bottles.
Okay.
So they're coming. First time we've had a wine, or again, whatever it is, mead. We'll find out. I'll find out,
yes.
as will our shoppers. Will find out like what's going on, and that's kind of cool too. Having new vendors and being
Part of the
creative.
uniqueness of a farmer's market, right?
It is,
being
it
able to
is.
let these vendors kind of one-off
Yeah,
showcase their
and it
wares.
would be good
yeah.
for the vendors too, because there'll be some music. They can get lunch if
Yeah.
they're because they're there for 5 hours, and then nobody will feel like they're alone. it'll be busy.
Is there like a sitting area, public common space where folks can sit?
There are benches everywhere
okay.
on the outsides of the tents,
Yeah.
and then the beer garden has benches.
Okay.
So plenty of places, and the Fours has outdoor seating.
Right,
So plenty of places to go.
But I mean, just some public seating where
Yeah,
you,
yeah. There's benches all the way up the aisle on both sides where
Okay.
anyone can just sit. You don't have to buy anything. You
Right.
don't have to. You just hang out.
Yeah.
Which, if the weather's really nice, Kilroy Square is a really good place to hang out.
Sure, there's a lot
You
going
know,
on.
a lot going
Absolutely,
on,
yeah.
so,
It's a kind of place where you probably run into your neighbor, you know.
We do. We
do you
see the
that?
regulars.
Yeah.
We see the regulars and stuff. And so we start next Friday, a
Yep,
week from
today,
Week from
actually.
today.
Yeah.
I keep thinking today's Thursday, but it's Friday. Week from today, and then we've got another twist on the beer garden. Is on Thursday, the night before.
Yep.
We start a cornhole tournament.
Really?
Yes.
At the beer garden?
At the beer
That
garden.
should be interesting.
So it's run by Widowmaker.
Okay.
They've partnered with a cornhole company.
Okay.
And there's
Who
a
knew?
league. They create a league, and there's actually it's interesting. There's a $15,000 win
What?
pot at the end to win.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be for 9 weeks, so it starts the 15th.
Okay.
And it runs through July and part of August.
All right.
And there's teams. You got to pay. I think it's $300 per team.
Oh, okay.
You can
This
play
is
as long
serious
as you.
then.
Oh yeah, it's like a
Oh.
poker tournament.
All right.
Only you're pitching cornholes or
beanie
beanie
bags.
bags.
Okay.
Someone told me it's this generation's horseshoes,
Interesting.
cornhole.
All right.
You know, I'm not a
So there
player.
probably are regulations where how far they have to be apart.
Oh yeah,
and the weight of the bean bag and the size of the board.
This is the real deal. This is professional.
Okay.
But for amateurs, for amateurs.
Okay.
But you can make some money, and I thought it's a really good idea because Thursday nights is still a little quiet.
Yeah.
You know, people kind of like, beer garden. So this is a way to bring more people to Kilroy Square.
Okay.
And again, play some cornhole. Go have dinner.
Uh-huh.
Go have drinks. Go anywhere you want because Quincy Square is the place to be. And we're just adding a little bit to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun and part of what we do. I'm sure last year we ended the season with a Oktoberfest in September, October of last year, and it was mobbed.
I bet.
It was
Yeah.
more people than I've ever seen. The line went all the way out, basically all the way out to Walter J. Hannon Parkway.
Wow.
I mean, it was great. We had a little German band. I mean, it was fun, and that's what we're trying to add now this year is some of the fun aspects. So people, it's not just about spending money. It's kind of about being entertained or just being able to hang out somewhere
Well, it's
safe.
community. It was the whole idea of the redevelopment
Community.
of Quincy
You
Center.
got
It
it.
was
It's-
creating a new neighborhood.
And that's exactly what Kilroy Square is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on now. You can Google Kilroy Square. You can find it on your map, on
Right.
Google Maps.
Yeah. That's when you know you've really made it.
Yeah.
When Google knows you're there.
Signage is great, and there's a new restaurant, bar,
Yep.
replacing Tully's, the old institution on
Yeah.
Cottage Ave. Kilroy's in the square.
Okay.
Kilroy's, 5-star dive bar, and as advertised, and it just shows you that there's more. There's a new Italian restaurant coming to the Nova apartment buildings
Yes,
on the
I
ground floor.
read about that,
So,
yeah.
and they'll have outdoor seating,
Yeah.
probably in the fall by the time they open and stuff. So, again, the options just keep growing.
Keep growing, yeah. What's
As-
going on with the old Sully's? Anything happening in that corner?
That I believe that those buildings are coming down. They're
Oh.
going to be an apartment building.
Oh,
there.
okay. All right.
And it's going to be east of Chestnut.
Oh, right across the street.
So
yeah.
same developers, Quincy Mutual.
Okay.
It's their parking lot. They're starting to move on that, and I think that those buildings will come down at some point. That was
Okay.
the plan, and to do something complementary, not exactly the same,
Yeah.
but complementary to what is at west of
West of
Chestnut.
Chestnut, yeah.
So it'll be a little community there with a medium-sized apartment building.
Okay.
And what we're finding is that, even Ashland Park, which is the new
Up at Quincy
Foxtrot
Medical,
property up
yeah.
up at the old Quincy Hospital, they're already exceeding expectations. It's starting to take rents
Is that
now.
right?
They're starting to sell, the product. They're opening, I think, in August.
Okay.
And they're actually getting people to sign up, and they've exceeded their expectations in the first 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
there's a demand for sure.
yeah, and what was interesting about them is they reached out to us and said, can we be at the farmer's market?
Oh, they reached out to you.
They reached out to us because we want to publicize where we are. We want to let the people who are going to live here to know that this is here.
There's a
so they're going
place,
to be
yeah.
setting up, you can sign up for apartments at Kilroy Square.
Okay.
A couple of Fridays this year, which is really, we want people who are coming to Quincy to know that there's a lot going on.
Yeah. We have a couple of minutes left, but I know you wanted to talk about your Quest program.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that also comes up in June. We're having the graduation. The class ends this Monday. We've got entrepreneurs.
So it's
as
like a
part of the
business
class.
incubator program, right?
Business incubator
Yeah.
program, and for established and some new, some established businesses, it's overseen by a company called Interrise, which is a national company. They provide the curriculum. We provide Quincy College provides the space.
Oh, okay.
And the Chamber and the City of Quincy provide the funding.
Nice.
So the CDBG money comes.
Sure.
So Sean Glennon and the Mayor's office have been great at supporting this. Second class, and they will receive their certificates on the 22nd. We'll have a little ceremony in the atrium.
Okay.
And then we'll have a little celebration at the beer garden, because the beer garden will be open. That will be, I think that'll be a cornhole night. So,
Okay.
and people, the public is welcome,
Yeah.
families will come.
Okay.
It's a nice little ceremony, and it's a nice way to acknowledge. They've been working since January
Yes.
to get these certificates,
Yeah.
and we're really happy about
It's
it.
good that there's still interest in creating new businesses.
They're
for sure.
certainly,
Yeah.
and growing the ones that are there.
That they have.
And survive, coming back out of COVID.
Yeah.
The ones who are still struggling are the ones who are trying to reposition themselves. I mean, we're trying to help everybody, big, small, medium size,
Yeah.
and at the same time really help the city, take advantage of the changes that have taken
Sure.
place in the city, to let young people and older people who are coming back to
Mm-hmm,
Quincy, selling their houses and downsizing, to say, we don't have to go to Boston anymore. And yet we still have, Quincy.
Yeah.
It's still Quincy.
Always good to see you, Tim.
Good to see you, Joe. I can't believe 19 minutes goes by
goes
that fast.
quick.
But I hope your watchers, your people watching, felt that way as well.
Come back in 4 months.
I'll come back in less than 4 months.
All
How's
right,
that?
sounds good.
We'll do a midsummer wrap up and let people know how it's going.
Deal.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Forecast for the rest of the day today, kind of what you see is what you get. Look out for some showers and storms this afternoon in the low 60s. Unsettled tomorrow morning, better in the afternoon, much better for Sunday and Monday. Thanks again, Tim Cahill, for joining us from the
Thank you,
Quincy
Joe.
Chamber. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here on this show, Walter Hubley will talk about the Quincy Rotary Club. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All kinds of programs, news and information, video on demand, and more there. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend